Well, the numbers are in, and it looks like we're less than 24 months away from $1 million Bitcoin. Trump made a deal with China and markets are taking off. $2 trillion added at the open. And we now have a new peer-reviewed study, a Bitcoin Treasuries arms race, sovereign wealth funds buying Bitcoin, all pointing to one thing: the greatest Bitcoin bull run of our lifetimes. Welcome back, I'm Rustin, and we got a lot to get to. Send it!
Price of Bitcoin. I did say 250,000 by the end of this year, but you go out 10 years and the answer is infinity against the dollar, because there won't be a dollar. There won't be a need to have a dollar. Once I can buy my food, my clothing, my shelter, pay my taxes all in Bitcoin, and it's a better way to collect taxes for sure, then there won't be any reason to hold on to any Bitcoin. I mean, to hold on to any dollars. And Bitcoin will be the primary source of owning wealth.
I mean, who needs subtlety when Draper just drops infinity on live TV? What is this, The Simpsons? But this is real. The U.S. just slashed tariffs on Chinese goods from 145% to 30%. China responded, cutting theirs from 125% to just 10%, and within hours, boom! $2 trillion added to the U.S. stock market at the open. And gold shit the bed. You know what this is? Liquidity floodgates opening. This is the pivot without the press conference. It's the start of a reinflation cycle, and Bitcoin is built to thrive in that environment. Now let's talk about balance sheets. Dell just voted down a proposal to add Bitcoin to its treasury. Bonds and cash. That's their move. Have fun staying poor. Morons. Meanwhile, MicroStrategy just bought another 13,390 BTC for $1.34 billion, bringing their total to 568,840 BTC. Japan's Metaplanet is going full sailor, picking up 1,241 BTC in a single move. That's 20% of their treasury. They now hold 6,976 BTC, and that's more than the country of El Salvador. And now we've got David Bailey launching the first publicly traded Bitcoin conglomerate, KDLY, raising $710 million and merging with Kindly MD to build a long-term Bitcoin treasury model. Every balance sheet, public or private, will eventually hold Bitcoin. And we are watching that prophecy unfold in real time. This isn't just bullish, it's a structural regime change. Here's what's happening underneath the headlines according to the Bitcoin Wealth Report. Retail flows are moving into ETFs, institutions are becoming the new diamond hands, BlackRock and MicroStrategy are building Bitcoin's new floor. Many speculators buy MicroStrategy, who buys Bitcoin, who in turn never sells. It's a cycle where speculative capital turns into a permanent supply withdrawal. Get this, IBIT and MicroStrategy now hold over 1.15 million Bitcoin. That's nearly 6% of the total supply locked up. This is why Bitcoin is getting more stable. The volatility hasn't disappeared. It's just been outsourced to the wrappers. Bitcoin is becoming the base layer of the new financial system. Now check this out. A new academic study published in the Journal of Risk and Financial Management lays it out clearly. Bitcoin reaches $1 million by early 2027 if daily withdrawals exceed 1,000 BTC. We are already seeing outflows in that range, and if withdrawals accelerate beyond 1,500 or 2,000 Bitcoin per day, the model predicts $2 million Bitcoin by 2027 and $5 million Bitcoin by 2031. This isn't wild speculation. It's based on a hard supply cap, rising institutional demand, and increasing long-term holder behavior. Bitcoin has no elasticity. No one can ramp up production. When supply runs dry, the only thing left to move is the price. Now we're about to bring it home and show you why $1 million Bitcoin may be confirmed. But before we bring it home, look at our likes. That's right. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pan. And remember, it's the users who determine what Bitcoin is. So if someone has peed in your mempool, You can speak with your node and protect your generational wealth. Don't get caught holding IOUs, refuse to be placed in a digital gulag, and get your Bitcoin off exchanges. Self-custody is the revolution. Visit thebitcoinway.com and begin your journey towards sovereignty today. And if you're looking to get started, you can schedule a free 30-minute consultation using that link in the show notes. Guys, are you absolutely sick of being surrounded by fiat normies? Well, all your lonely days are gone. Thanks to the Orange Pill app, you can stack friends who stack sats. It's the ultimate hub to connect with fellow Bitcoiners, find meetups, and discover every Bitcoin conference happening near you and across the country. Bitcoin is better with friends, and now you can zap them instantly all in one app. What are you waiting for? Download the Orange Pill app today, go hit a local meetup, and who knows, the connections you make could last a lifetime. Sovereign. There is a Treasury arms race happening right now, and sovereign wealth funds are entering the game.
If you asked me to define what's going on in 2025 when it comes to Bitcoin, I would simply say institutional adoption. That's both everything from sovereign wealth funds all the way to public companies. Everybody wants some Bitcoin because they think that this idea is going to catch on. Now, there's only 21 million of them, and so there's a mad dash to see how many can you acquire. Everyone knows that Strategy has now bought over 500,000 Bitcoin. There's new companies like 21 that are coming on the scene trying to get tens of thousands of Bitcoin. But behind the scenes, sovereign wealth funds and public companies, they're working diligently to try to acquire Bitcoin as well. And so I sat down with Anthony Scaramucci, the founder and CEO of Skybridge Capital, and I asked him what exactly is happening with the sovereign wealth funds. This is what Anthony had to say. What are they saying about Bitcoin right now? Are they all like buying it up and not announcing it yet, or what's going on?
Yeah, so I think they are. I think they are buying it. I think they're buying it on the margin. I don't think it's going to be a gigantic groundswell of buying until we greenlight legislation in the United States. So if you tell me before the end of the congressional term, we've got a stablecoin regulation, we've got guidance for money center banks on how they can custody Bitcoin and other assets, and we have some discussion about the tokenization of stocks and bonds and other assets, then I will tell you that there'll be large blocks of buying, or they're people worth 10, 20, 30 trillion dollars buying $500 million of Bitcoin, buying $1 billion of Bitcoin. Yes. Are the people on the margin buying Bitcoin today? Yes. But if you want to see $1 million Bitcoin, that's when somebody at a sovereign says, okay, this is part of the infrastructure of the world's financial services architecture, a result of which I have to own some of this property, I have to own this rail system.
Now, it's pretty incredible to hear the fact that already some of these sovereign wealth funds are buying Bitcoin, but more of them are going to start buying Bitcoin once we get more regulatory clarity in the United States. But it's not just sovereign wealth funds, as I mentioned. We also are seeing publicly traded companies continue to assault the public markets and try to acquire Bitcoin. We've got Strategy, we've got Metaplanet, we've got Summer Scientific, we've got many, many others that are all doing this. But now we've got some new entrants. There was an announcement that Strive Asset Management, Vivek Ramaswamy and Matt Cole, coming to market and saying they wanted to be the first Bitcoin treasury company in the asset management space in the public markets. On top of that, there's rumors that David Bailey, Bitcoin Inc., that he himself is going to have some sort of Bitcoin investment vehicle that's going to be out in the public markets as well. I know in the private markets that there are many, many people trying to get into the public markets and buy Bitcoin as well. This is where the future is headed. People realize that you can go and you can sell equity or you can take on debt to buy digital sound money. And whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, this theme is not going to go away. You're going to see this happen in the United States. You're going to see it happen in other markets. You're going to see different twists from all these different companies. There will be a company in every single sector in public markets that says, I want to be the leading asset management. I want to be the leading software company. I want to be the leading X, Y, or Z vertical, but I also want to put Bitcoin on my balance sheet. That is what public markets are going to look like going forward. And it all goes back to the same idea, which is you can pull on the revenue lever for your business, you can pull on the expense lever for your business, or now you have a third lever, which is your balance sheet. And these companies are weaponizing their balance sheets. If you go and take a look at who's doing it, most of them are doing it because it's a Hail Mary. But if you tell the market that there's a Hail Mary that pass that is always caught, then they're going to throw the Hail Mary. And so all those companies that are looking to breathe life back into their companies, buying Bitcoin on their balance sheet seems to be a winning strategy. And so if it's working for some, you're going to see a lot more follow. And that's exactly what's going on right now.
Booch isn't the only one ringing the bell. We have Middle East sovereign wealth funds here. Now, today, it has begun.
Bitcoin has always been a leading indicator of where risk assets will go. So this is generally a positive skewed market for Bitcoin. I think specifically to Bitcoin, what's happening is where's the buying coming from? And so again, you have these publicly listed entities that are consistent buyers of Bitcoin. You have one of the most profitable companies in the world, Tether, that continues to use profits to buy Bitcoin. Tether is what the insurance business was for asset management. It's becoming one of the largest balance sheets out there. You have states, so New Hampshire, Arizona, potentially Oregon, who are now adopting digital asset holding frameworks that are going into law. You have sovereign states. I was in Dubai last week. The UAE, alongside many other nations, are buying Bitcoin as a reserve asset. So you have demand coming from there, and then where do you see supply consolidating?
Very similar to gold, I was going to say.
This is the big one. Not just companies, not just states, but nations are beginning to front-run the monetary reset. And if even a handful of sovereign funds follow this playbook, that $1 million Bitcoin thesis, it stops sounding wild and starts sounding conservative. So let's zoom out. The old guard is clinging to cash. The smart money is locking up Bitcoin. The liquidity is flowing. And now we've got a real mathematical peer-reviewed model pointing to $1 million Bitcoin in less than 24 months. We are no longer speculating on if. We are watching how fast. You know what else is coming fast? Bitcoin 2025. That's right, Bitcoin is taking over Las Vegas May 27th through the 29th. The 2025 Bitcoin conference is heading to the Venetian. We got a massive lineup coming our way, and JD Vance will be there. Be sure to say thank you when you see him. I expect history to be made. You don't want to miss it, so grab those tickets today, and don't forget to use promo code SIMPLY for 10% off at checkout. And the Simply team will be on site. We want to see you there. Let's get it. Friends, it appears Valhalla is coming. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and give us a pamp by sharing the Sound Money Gospel, and set those notifications for the best in Bitcoin delivered to you daily. We got a big few months ahead. So strap in. Hey, I love you guys. Catch you next time. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, fuck you.